Hey everyone, it's Michael here, and in this video we're going to be learning the great jazz standard classic, Body and Soul. Body and Soul has been a beloved song for decades. One of the most famous versions of this is Coleman Hawkins, but even much more recently there was a version put out by Amy Winehouse and Tony Bennett just after Amy Winehouse's passing in, I believe it was 2011 or 2012. And so we're going to be jumping into this great jazz standard. And so if you've never been able to read from a lead sheet before, or you've always been intimidated by learning jazz standards from lead sheets, this video is for you. So the first thing we want to do is just familiarize ourselves with the melody as written before we start adding chords to it. So a lot of these songs can be played in many different ways. We can change the rhythms, especially with slow songs like this. But for this video, we're mostly going to be playing the melody as written, and then you can feel free to embellish on it if you would like. But we just want to start out learning it as written. So, right, just go ahead and play along with me. I'm going probably a little faster than people usually play it, but we just want to get comfortable with the melody. And one thing you'll notice, this is in the key of D flat. So if you need to, I would definitely recommend spending a little bit of time in that key, get comfortable with the fingerings in D flat, because we're going to be playing a melody in D flat. And then the second section is in the key of D. So once again, we want to get comfortable with the key of D, because most of the notes in the melody are in the key of D. So let's go ahead and play this melody. And then now we're actually in the key of C, starting on D minor. And then we have the first section that repeats. So once again, I would get comfortable with D flat, the key of D, and the key of C, all major, right? And this will become even more important as we go along. Now, if you haven't spent a lot of time in D flat, D, or C, you may be wondering, how on earth am I going to play chords in those keys? And so I definitely recommend checking out my free video course and ebook, Anyone Can Play Jazz Chords, which will teach you how to get comfortable learning the most important jazz chords in any key so that you can look at a lead sheet and be able to play it confidently. But let's go ahead and continue with the rest of the video. So after we've taken a little bit of time to learn the melody, it's time to learn the chords. So we're going to start off with E flat minor 7, and then we have B flat 7, and this one we're going to do in an inversion. So we're going to have F on bottom, then A flat, B flat, and D. Just get comfortable going back and forth between those two chords, because this will come back quite a bit. And then on the second measure, we go on to A flat 7. And occasionally a lead sheet will have a different chord here. We're going to do A flat 7 here because it's the chord that's in the key. And it makes a lot of sense here. And then we're going on to D flat major 7. So just get comfortable with those 5 chords there. After we get to the D flat major 7, we're going to jump up to G flat 7. And this is an interesting chord progression because the bass notes go down by step as well as the chord. So we're actually going to follow that down. So we're doing root position G flat dominant 7. That's G flat, B flat, D flat, and F flat, usually just E, which is the same. And then F minor 7, E diminished 7, which is E, G, B flat, and D flat, and then E flat minor 7 once again. And this is a little extra that you can throw in, that a lot of people will put in here, is that we can do an inversion. We can put our D flat on top and put it on bottom here. So when we get to the third beat, we can go, and that leads us straight into the C minor 7 flat 5, or C half diminished. So we have E flat minor 7, then we can put the D flat on bottom if we want, and then C half diminished, going to F7. So C half diminished is C, E flat, G flat, and B flat, and F7 is C, E flat, F, and A. Once again, I'm putting the 5th on bottom, and then the root and 3rd are on the top. And then we have B flat minor 7, B flat, D flat, F, and A flat. And then once again, we have our 2, 5, 1 in D flat that we had before. And this one goes to a D flat 6 with the B flat on top. And if you want to be a little bit slick, one thing that you can do for this B flat 7, rather than going to a root position or even going to a second inversion with the 5th on bottom like we usually do, you can actually take your D flat 6 and just take your bottom note and go up a half step to D. And that is actually going to be the same chord with D, F, A flat, and B flat. So that's going to be our B flat 7, which will lead us to the top. Right? So again, the A section is going to be the same there. Jump up to the G flat 7, F minor 7, E diminished 7, E flat minor 7, and then we add the D flat on bottom, C half diminished, F7, B flat minor 7, jump up to E flat minor 7, A flat 7, and D flat 6. So again, if I went too fast for you, which I probably did, make sure to go back and watch it a few times. Watch it at 0.5 speed, 0.75 speed, which you can do to get more comfortable before we go on to the next section. Again, this is in D flat, so if you need more practice in the key of D flat, once again, I'd check out that ebook, which can show you a really great practice method for learning in any key. So before we go on to the B section, I just want to go ahead and play this with the right hand so you can get a feel for where we're headed. So. And notice that I'm just playing quarter notes in my left hand. And then just raising that to the D and then to the top. You can add some embellishments if you'd like. Made a little mistake there. Going on to the B section, we're going to use an A7 to get to the D major 6 there. So we have A7 with E, G, A, and C sharp, and then we're going to go to D major 6. And some lead sheets have this as a D major 7. I don't love having the D major 7 on the top because it's going to clash with our melody. So I like having the B on top instead. And either one can work, but just for now, since we're learning the melody and this is your first time, I like having it being able to hear the melody really clearly. So D, F sharp, A, and B. And then we have E minor 7. Then I'm actually going to do this inversion, D6 over F. So I'm just taking my E minor 7 and I'm putting everything up a step in the key of D. So I have F sharp, A, B, and D. And then for the next chord, just because the melody is about to start going down, I'm going to move my chord down to this G minor 7 chord. I'm going to go D, F, G, and B flat. And then we're going to follow this through. Once again, this is probably pretty quick for you. So if you need to gain that flexibility, I definitely go back and practice this several times. So G minor 7, C7, F sharp minor 7, B minor 7, E minor 7, A7, and then D major 7. So let me do that a little bit more slowly. So this is G minor 7 with the 5th on the bottom, C7 in root position, F sharp minor 7 in with the 5th on bottom, so I'm doing C sharp, E, F sharp, and A, and then B minor 7 in root position, E minor 7 in 2nd inversion, so B, D, E, and G, and then A7 in root position, and then D major 7 in 2nd inversion. So let's go on to the next part. We're going to start with D minor 7. Again, we're on the key of C now. So let's go ahead and play this line before we move on. So and then going on, we have D minor 7, G7 in 2nd inversion, C major 7, and then we're going to jump up slightly to E flat diminished 7. So that's E flat, G flat, A, and C, which leads us back to our D minor 7, G7, and then instead of going to the C major 7 this time, we're going to C dominant 7 with the B flat on top. So C7, B7, B flat 7. So this is the same chord, just going down in half steps. So, and then we're back to the beginning. I am stylizing the melody a little bit, which you can try if you'd like. So I definitely recommend trying that out on your own, seeing if you can go from section to section, and just getting really comfortable with the melody and the left hand separately before you put them together is really going to help. So let's go on to our double take. So the double take is the part of the video where I'm going to show you something that's maybe a little bit more advanced than before. And this is maybe not something that you need to try right now, especially today. I'm going to show you something that's probably going to open up your mind a little bit more to what is possible with this. So usually when I'm teaching jazz piano, I would say at the beginner stage, we are separating the hands. So left hand is doing something, right hand is doing something, and never the twain shall cross, right? Just because there's a lot to go on with just playing both hands separately. But once you get much more comfortable with playing songs like this, especially on ballads or really pretty songs, because they're going slowly, we can actually help our left hand with the chords while we're playing the melody. So I might do something like this, where I'm playing the melody, and notice how I have this big long note. I'm not doing anything with these other fingers, right? So anytime I'm playing with these top 3 fingers, I can actually help my left hand, and I can start to create some voicings that are much more large and feel a lot fuller. And that's what I would usually be doing for a song like this. So instead of doing the voicings that we practiced before, I might do something like this. So notice how I am helping out my left hand. I'm playing some of the notes from the chord in my right hand while playing the melody. And so this may take a lot more time, but this is where you want to end up, or you want to start working towards. And so we start off with just playing hands separate, and then eventually we start to have the hands work together. And this may take quite a few months to start getting to the point where you might be able to add this. But this is something like that, how this might sound. So And in my left hand, I'm actually mostly playing what I would call a shell voicing, which is where I'm just playing the root in the 7th or the root in the 3rd. But this way I can spread the chord out, and then my right hand can help out with those voicings. And then anytime I want my right hand to help out with a note, it means that my left hand can go lower for a nice low bass note. So definitely that's quite a bit more advanced, and I don't expect you to be able to do that today, but I just want you to see a vision of, you know, where you're at right now, which is we're playing everything quite a bit separately, and that's okay. Where you're at is a great place, and I want you to enjoy what you have right now. We explored some great techniques with playing quarter notes in your ballads to get some motion going, but eventually you want for your hands to be able to work together. So if you want to try that out, I would recommend taking just a few, maybe 2 measure segments, maybe just this first 2 measures, and just try having your right hand take 1 note from your left hand chord and see how that feels. And then over time, you'll be able to develop a vocabulary of chord voicings where your right hand is helping out your left hand just a little bit. No need to force yourself to do that today. I just wanted to give you a vision for the future and how you could start to up-level your jazz piano playing so that you can feel much more free and comfortable when you're reading from lead sheets. And if you would like to take your playing to the next level, go to freedomatthepiano.com, where I have courses as well as group and private coaching to help you get to the next stage in your piano journey so you can feel free to create music as you have always wanted. So I hope that you have enjoyed this video, and if you did, go ahead and like and subscribe, and check out my latest video where I teach you how to play Girl from Ipanema from a lead sheet. So go ahead and check that out, and I will see you in the next video.